This is the Average to Savage podcast with Paul Guarino. Everyone and anyone, athletes, celebs, and much more.
What's up, everybody? I'm back for another episode of the Average Savage podcast. Our special guest today is J Erving. Jay, how's it going? Thanks for coming on.
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, appreciate it. So let's just jump right into it. What was it like to grow up as Julius Erving's son?
It was good. I mean, there was definitely some perks. I think, I think he was dad. Always has just been dad to me. So, there was times in which we would go out and stuff, people recognized him and we knew that he was some kind of celebrity, but it was very normal to us.
Gotcha. Was there any moment when you were like a little kid that you were like, wow, my dad's like famous?
When I think it was some of the people that I started to get to meet when he was, when we go to like All-Star games and stuff like that, and meeting like Magic Johnson and Isaiah Thomas and Larry Bird and some of those other guys that felt like superstars at the time. In kind of understanding that my dad was in the same class as them, that's what kind of made it real for me.
Gotcha. And jumping into like your business career, what was like, let's just say like your first couple jobs, and then how did you get into the music industry?
Well, my first couple of jobs, like when I was still in high school, I worked at a used car lot, and I did a bunch of internships on the summers when I was in high school. And then when I was in college, I started doing street promotions for a company called Loud Records, Steve Rifkin's company, and they were, the leaders in the game in terms of hand-to-hand kind of street promotions at the time. And I was going to school in Atlanta and interning with them.
Gotcha. And you're a manager to artists right now, correct?
I'm a distributor. I have a distribution company currently.
So who were your first like clients or artists that you started to work with?
I partnered with a guy named Ray Cyrus pretty early in my career, and we were able to work with superstars really over the years. Rodney Jerkins, the Floetry, the Eve, and Fat Joe, and the Locks, and Nelly, and a bunch of others kind of back in the day, and Tyga, and a few others. And Troy signed Lady Gaga in 2006. I think we became one of the biggest artists in the world.
Yeah. Was that like your breakthrough in the music industry, you'd say?
Gaga was Troy signing. I mean, I think every artist that we worked with is a different and unique experience. I mean, we're dealing with human beings at the end of the day, so they're all kind of wired differently. They all have different needs and wants and goals, which is what's exciting about management and what kind of wakes us up every day is the fact that no 2 days are the same, no two artists are the same. It keeps us on our toes. Management has taken us into a lot of different areas, from the television, into apparel, into touring and technology, and lots of different areas. One of the cool things about management. So there is no kind of ceiling on it. It could involve and kind of take you into several different worlds.
Yeah, definitely. I know how that goes. And just like bringing it back to how you said they're humans. I think a lot of people, because I work with a lot of athletes and stuff, and I think people just forget that they're human beings and not just celebrities, Yeah. And what's your approach to like getting a new client or like going after a client?
I think we look for superstars. I think now, really looking for good partners and artists that are willing to, really put the work in and work as hard as we're willing to work. Super talented. It all starts with the music for me. But development and finding those things super early is something that has always been fun for me.
Gotcha. And I listened to another podcast you were on. You said you've been working with Nelly for I think you said 10 or 11 years or something like that. Is that correct?
Yeah, since 2004.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
On and off, yeah.
So how did that all come about?
We actually did a deal. We actually partnered with a guy who was managing him at the time, a guy named Tony Davis, and that's how we got introduced to the Nelly business. So he's one of those guys where it's being from the East Coast and hearing some of the music and stuff that he was doing early on. It took us into a whole new subculture. The the Midwest and their slang and how they dressed, and kind of the melodic nature of what he was doing was a lot different than what was happening at the time in rap music. So it was really kind of one of those artists that's has always been super disruptive in doing things that are a bit left of center. I mean, having, number one country record, number one, pop, R&B, hip hop, it's like I had records that have had number ones across every format of music. So certainly very diverse in terms of, and not scared and willing to kind of take chances musically, but he embodies all of the qualities that you look for in an artist.
Yeah, no, like going a different way, but what's your thoughts on like Lil Xan X, like doing a song like with Billy Ray Cyrus?
I mean, I think it's good for music. I think, the more collaborations and folks finding intersections, artists finding intersections with their music, I think is great. I mean, it's great for music. I think it's good for the fans, and when you see that kind of mutual respect for different genres of music, it's refreshing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I definitely like it. I think it's different, and different's always good, and change it up. Like, what would you say for like an up and coming artist? Like, what do you think? Like, say, like a couple keys would be to like get them on the right path to like stardom.
I mean, I think all of the tools that these artists have now is like there's no real excuse for artists not to be able to get their music out, have it be heard, use their social tools and whatnot to create awareness around what it is that they're doing. I think that, folks' ability to make music now is significantly different than it was in the past, in that, you can make beats, you can make records, you can do that stuff on a computer, and, nowadays. So you don't really need, to be in a proper studio or, have an exorbitant amount of, money to make records. So, really at this point, there's really no reason why artists shouldn't be able to, get their music out and start to create energy around what it is that they're doing.
Yeah, definitely. I know you're not too big on social media, but what are your thoughts on social media?
I mean, I think it's a great tool for artists. For me personally, it's one of those things that I've kind of struggled with over the years, whether it was something that I wanted to do or didn't want to do. As a manager, I feel like a lot of it was about putting our artists first. It was never really about us. So that was always felt a little bit weird to me to be on socials in that way. But it's definitely a tool that even executives are using now to as a calling card of sorts.
Yeah, definitely. Going back into other business ventures, I know you were an early investor in Uber and Spotify. So, like, going back to those, like, did you just have a good feeling about those two companies?
I mean, those companies aren't hard to have a good feeling about. It's like when you just realize that you don't have to carry CDs around anymore. Okay, I get this. I get what this is. Or you press a button and a car shows up, and it's a Lincoln Town car, or and it costs the same amount as a taxi, or like those things aren't hard to read. Yeah. So those are pretty easy decisions for me.
Gotcha. And I saw you recently opened up a restaurant in West Hollywood. How'd that come about?
Got introduced to the guys who own the place from someone at my office who works with me, and was able to invest some money and jump into it. Something that I always wanted to do or be involved with, and I've been talked out of it several times. But this is an easy kind of play because I don't have to do much. I just kind of show up and drink beer and eat chicken wings.
Gotcha. Well, what advice would you give to a young entrepreneur?
You get out what you put in. As an entrepreneur, you don't clock in or out. There's no time where you're off work. You just got to be willing to put in the hours and the effort to be successful. It's not easy. It's certainly a challenging lifestyle when you are reliant on betting on yourself. It's not for everybody. But, I think the rewards could be great if you're willing to put the work in.
Yeah, definitely. All right, you ready for some fun questions? They're going to go from average to savage.
Okay.
All right. What's your favorite song currently?
That's like new song?
Yeah, anything. Or like, what's like a song that you just like play on repeat?
Khalid's probably.
All right. I'll take it. Are you a jersey guy or a sneaker guy?
Sneaker.
All right. What about what's 3 sneakers that you want that you don't own right now?
I got a lot.
All right.
I got a lot. I can't think of 3 that I want that I don't have.
You have to get on like sneaker shopping then. The little show, on YouTube. Yeah. What about is there any artists that you never worked with that you want to work with?
There's a ton.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really a fan of like old school R&B, like Patti LaBelle and Teddy Pendergrass and Luther Vandross and those kinds of artists. But I think new school would be a newer school. Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
Yeah, probably one.
There you go. All right, last one. What's harder, being a parent or an entrepreneur?
Entrepreneur. Easy.
All right. I thought you were going to say parent.
That part's easy. That's the fun part.
Gotcha. All right, well, I appreciate you coming on, and could you let the people know where they could find you on social media? I know you're not big on social media, or like your website or anything you want to plug in.
It's humanresources.com. It's human-re-sources.com.
All right, again, I appreciate you coming on. Have a good one.
No, thank you.